Welcome to Badminton Unlimited, your weekly access to badminton action and beyond. This week, we meet one of the most dominant players of his generation, the much-loved Peter Gator. And we're in Malaysia to find out how a tournament is using badminton to help foster racial harmony and friendship. He was one of the most dominant players of his generation, known for his trickery and deception. He combined his masterful footwork with a relentless pressure game that was hard to resist. We spent an afternoon looking around the Danish capital with one of the most successful players in the sport.
Hello guys, my name is Peter Gator and welcome to Copenhagen.
Gator was actually born in Aalborg, a small town in the north of the country. But for the last 18 years, Copenhagen has been his home. For a player who has always fought hard for his country, he's rightly proud of his adopted city.
Copenhagen is, for the moment, I think one of the most interesting capitals in the world. I think Copenhagen is moving forward in a lot of different areas, especially on the environmental side. We are showing everyone around the world that we can have a green city. Even though it's in the city center, you know, we have lots of green fields everywhere. People are thinking about what they eat. They're eating in a healthy way. We have to be really proud of that a lot of countries are looking towards Copenhagen and not the other way around.
For most of the late 1990s and early 2000s, people were looking at Peter Gator. After winning the 1994 World Junior Championships in men's doubles, he made his international debut, and within a year, he won his first men's singles title, the Scottish Open. He would go on to win 22 Grand Prix titles, the All England title, and 5 European Championship crowns. He was world #1 for 3 consecutive years, briefly recapturing it in 2006 after a 5-year absence. He retired at the French Open in 2012, bringing the curtain down on an exceptional 18-year career.
The crowd around me are on their feet, a standing ovation. Peter Gator, his badminton career has come to an end.
You know, I was, I think I was 36 when I actually retired. So that's quite a high age, you know, of a men's singles player. And I've been on the top for, you know, became world #1 at 21 years old. So it's a lot of years to be on that level. I have pushed my body, my mind, you know, to the limit and maybe above the limit in some ways. So I felt like, okay, now it's time to say stop.
Now working as a brand ambassador for Danish companies wishing to have a presence in Asia, as well as spending a lot more time with his young family, Gator is enjoying that easier pace of life. But in his heyday, he was a bundle of energy. He was uncompromising in his desire to win, often driving himself beyond where his contemporaries were willing to go, and always in search of good results. It was this unwillingness to take a step back that propelled him to the top of the badminton rankings from 1998 until 2001.
First of all, to be, you know, to just push yourself every single day in order to make the best possible results on a high level is something you are born with. It's something that is deep inside of you. The urge to, you know, no matter what happens, no matter how many ups and downs, you always want to come back. You always want to do better next time. It kind of developed, you know, inside of me from a very young age. And the way it just stayed with me for that many years is I love my sport. I love to wake up in the morning and push myself to the limit.
But for many years, he was caught up in the heat of battle, unable to fully appreciate the remarkable things he was doing. In an all-consuming international tour schedule, his focus was the next challenge. But with time, he has allowed himself some perspective.
I don't have any of my trophies, any of my medals. They are just put away. I don't have any of them, you know, inside. I never think about actually what I've been doing. You know, for me, it's about looking ahead and see what can I do. But at some point, you look back, and during the past 2 years, when after I stopped and played my last match against Lindan in Copenhagen, I've been trying to look back. What you remember the most is what you've been doing, you know, the process with your coaches, the process with your, you know, the ones that are working with you on the sidelines, how you kind of conquered these difficult moments.
Known for his non-stop attacking style, Gator would often add some deceptive shots. It won him as many fans as it bamboozled his opponents. While many players are capable of executing these trick shots, it speaks volumes for the 37-year-old that he had the confidence and courage to do it in a competitive environment.
I looked at some other players who also took on these deceptive moves, and I said, I want to do this as well. And one thing is to practice the shot and do it, you know, with a multi-feeding. You can do a very deceptive, strange, funny kind of shot. But a totally different thing is to incorporate it in your game on court. And that aspect, that, you know, transformation, I was very interested in seeing, could I actually be the player that was able to do that?
Gator has had a remarkable badminton career, from a small-town boy to a great in the sport. His breathless search for glory has not only brought him individual titles and success for his country, but he is greeted with warmth wherever he goes. His determination and desire to win means he's loved across continents and continues to attract affection from fans, and it is this, above all, that he is most proud of.
Of course, I'm very happy about the results that I've been doing, but I'm much more happy about the print that I've left in badminton, the prints that I have left in Asia, about how Europeans, how Danish players they behave, how they produce fighting spirit. I didn't think about it along the way, but when I stopped my career and I look back, you know, I feel, okay, people they take this into them as fans, you know, and I'm really proud of what I've been doing in that aspect.
Talent, passion, honesty, and success. They are the things that Peter Gator has brought to the game, and as he moves on to another chapter of his life, we hope these attributes will continue to influence badminton for a long time. Let's test your badminton knowledge now. We want you to name the doubles pair who won 3 consecutive World Superseries titles across 3 calendar weeks this season. We give you the answer after the break.
一番行きたい旅行は、日本だったら沖縄県に行ってみたいです。海外だったらアメリカに行ってみたいです。一番好きな食べ物はお母さんが作った卵焼きです。一番好きな大会は日本で開催される国際大会で、多くの人に応援してもらえるのがすごく嬉しいです。好きな言葉は大丈夫っていう言葉です。
When we get back, we're in Kuala Lumpur to find out how a tournament in Malaysia is trying to bring people together through badminton. Welcome back. Before the break, we asked you to name the doubles pair who won 3 consecutive World Superseries titles across 3 calendar weeks this season. The answer is Lee Yong-dae and Yoo Yeon-sung. The Korean duo created history by winning 3 successive World Superseries titles in 3 weeks. They were the Yonex Open Japan, BCA Indonesia Open, and the Star Australian Open. The pair, who became a team in October 2013, are now ranked number 1 in the BWF men's doubles category. This is Malaysia, a cosmopolitan country in Southeast Asia with over 30 million people. The multi-ethnic nation has a patchwork of races, languages and religions, but one thing that unites them all is their love for badminton.
Inciting the crowd. Look at that, look at that. The drama, the excitement and the tension. Malaysian fans on their feet.
We're in its capital, Kuala Lumpur, to drop in on the Makeba Badminton Championships. Since its creation in 2008, this annual grassroots tournament has been held in conjunction with Malaysia's National Day. Their aim? To promote togetherness and unity.
Since I started this hall in about 10 years ago, I noticed a lot of various races are playing badminton. I definitely noticed that all the players are segregated. We have all Malays and Malays, Chinese and Indian. There are many groups. I feel that we should unite people through sports. Because in sports, there's no borders. This sports is a very good platform to unite people.
What makes this doubles-only event unique is the requirement to partner up with a player from a different race, an initiative the organisers hope can help foster friendship through sport.
The tournament actually is a doubles tournament, and the unique rules about this is that each double has to be of a different race. Yeah, so through that, we hope to promote unity in the country.
We are pairing them like going to be a mixed marriage. I mean a blind marriage where you don't know your partner, the skill. So I always told all the participants, it's not a matter of winning. It's about participation, get to know your partner. So, and this tournament, we are doing this is we do a round robin instead of knockout. At least they have a minimum of 3 games. So I'm definitely they will enjoy, they will get together.
The Mahima Championships has gained popularity over the years, and it's the social aspects of the event that is attracting badminton enthusiasts. It has provided a fun environment for the people to enjoy the sport and meet new people.
Well, badminton is a popular sport in Malaysia. Everywhere you go, people is playing badminton. People are bonding into each other, partnering, losing, winning. I don't see people fight in badminton. They talk, they laugh, they eat together, they talk about it. Even the post-mortem take longer than the match. At the end of the day, everybody smiles. I will have fun. Okay, I will make new friends. Okay, I think that's the thing of a kind I want to find in this tournament.
And it's not just about bringing people together. There's also an educational side to it. Students are taught the rules of badminton and then given a shot at umpiring during the competition.
Of course, Yayasan 1 Malaysia as our core partner, they provided us with 40 volunteers actually. So most of these are all school-going children. We're also using them as umpires. So we have a certified referee with us where we conducted a 3-day course with the children. So we had the theory session where we teach them about the rules and regulations and what to say. And after that we had 2 sessions of practical. So to really teach them what is umpiring is like and how to be professional, This could open doors for the children when they grow up to see badminton as a career.
The Academy's Unity Through Sports campaign does not stop with this one tournament. They continue to use badminton to promote a Malaysia that is united in its diversity with follow-up activities.
After these tournaments, I will always bring them together. As we get all the best players, after looking through after the tournament, I will select the good ones of different races to have an exhibition match. It's very something unique. Look at our whatever international, even Malaysia, you hardly find a pair of different races. It's an eye-opener for the world, So if we can instill an international tournament in Malaysia, if we can send in of different races, I think it'll be wonderful.
Sport brings together communities and breaks down barriers like very few other activities. And for Michael and Casey Lee, using the one sport that all Malaysians love is the perfect tool to do this. The Yonex Sunrise Vietnam Grand Prix Open 2014 drew to a close last weekend, and it saw players from Indonesia dominating the finals of the Grand Prix event. The doubleheader began with the top two-seeded pair in the mixed doubles as Indonesian pairing of Muhammad Rizal and Vita Marisa took on compatriots Irfan Fadila and Winnie Agriani. It was a straightforward match for Rizal and Marisa as they eased past Irfan and Winnie in straight games, winning 21-18, 21-10. It was an all-Japanese affair in the women's singles. Nozomi Okuhara went up against 2013 Asian junior champion Aya Ohori. In a contest that lasted just 36 minutes, the 19-year-old Okuhara upset her compatriot, winning the game 21-15, 21-11 to clinch her second title of the season after winning the Sky City New Zealand Open in April. Up next was the men's singles, with Dionysus Hayam Rumbaka continuing the Indonesian presence in the finals against India's H.S. Pranoy. In a final that lasted well over an hour, the top-seeded Dionysus lived up to his billing as he held off a spirited Indian challenge, taking the deciding game to win the match 18-21, 21-15, 21-18. The women's doubles also saw an all-Indonesian matchup, with Giovanni Marita Dia and Rosita Eka Putrisari taking on Gabi Ristiani Imawan and Mahadewi Istrirani Niketut. A tight contest saw both pairs challenging point after point, with the spoils shared at one apiece after 2 games. The decider, however, belonged to Giovanni and Rosita as they wrapped up the match 21-19, 15-21, 21-10. The final match featured Indonesian pairing Andre Aditya and Hendra Aprilia Gunawan taking on Kenta Kazuno and Kazushi Yamada in the men's doubles. In a hard-fought encounter, it was the Indonesian duo who got the better of the Japanese, taking the deciding game to win the match 15-21, 23-21, 21-17. A fitting end to what was a fantastic final day. After the break, we spotlight Africa's #1 men's singles shuttler who is determined to take on the big boys, South Africa's Jacob Malika. Time for the rankings. This week we look at the women's doubles. The top 3 spots remain the same, with Chinese duo Bao Yixin and Tang Jinghua on top of the pile. Compatriots Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei and Wang Xiaoli and Yu Yang rise 3 places each to 4th and 5th respectively, while Korea's Zhang Yena and Kim So-young, as well as Japan's Reika Kakiiwa and Miyuki Maeda, drop 2 spots to 6th and 7th. Rounding off the top 10 is the Indonesian pairing of Nitya Krishinda Maheswari and Gracia Poli. Don't forget, the rankings are updated every Thursday, so log on to www.bwfbadminton.org for the latest updates. This week on our Player of the Week, we bring you 19-year-old Nozomi Okuhara. Born in the Nagano Prefecture, the right-handed shuttler made her mark on the global scene in 2011, when she won the Austria International Challenge. The following year, she narrowly missed out on the Asian Junior Championships, losing out to India's PV Sindhu. But the then 17-year-old stormed back in the 2012 World Junior Championships, beating her compatriot Akane Yamaguchi in the final. And she continues to stake her claim on the women's circuit, winning the Sky City New Zealand Open earlier this year and clinching the recently concluded Yonex Sunrise Vietnam Grand Prix Open. This year's Leaning BWF World Championships saw the usual media scrum accompany the elite players. Shuttlers from countries such as China, Indonesia and Malaysia are constantly in the spotlight, adding a sense of glitz and glamour to any international tournament. In Copenhagen, there were those who arrived quietly with little fanfare. Badminton Unlimited caught up with one such player who was making only his second appearance at the BWF World Championships. Jacob Malika, who hails from East London on the southeast coast of South Africa, is not a new kid on the block. The 23-year-old is the country's #1 men's singles player and commands the same status in the continent.
Well, the World Championships is one of the biggest tournaments on the badminton circuit, so it's a real privilege to come to a tournament like this. So we try our best to qualify to come to this tournament and give our best performance, and it means a lot.
Badminton may not be as popular as cricket, rugby or football in the land of 50 million, but it's not new to the country. The South African Badminton Championships started operations in 1937, and the country's shuttlers have also been featured prominently in the Africa Championships since its inception in 1992. Although it has a long tradition, it is still trying to make a mark on the country's sporting hierarchy. Players like Jacob Malika have made it their mission to turn the racket sport's fortune around.
Sponsors and money, like it's difficult to get that. So I think the sport, it's slowly growing. Like the more we produce results, the more we get recognized, the more money comes into the game, and then the more players get interested to participate. So I think we need to put in the hard hours now, get on the world map, and then slowly we can take it from there.
Jacob was born in the town of Mthatha, but his badminton journey began in East London. It was in this city that the then 9-year-old took notice of the sport after he joined his parents for a game. A natural with the racket, he started competing in national tournaments. In the South Africa International 2008, Jacob took 3rd spot in the men's singles. A year later, the national selectors came knocking on his door. But having reached his full potential in this country, he was left with the problem of how to continue his development.
Well, I made the national team when I was 18 years old, so my final year in school. And then, I had a huge passion for badminton, and my parents were very supportive of me. And so I decided to pursue this. And because training and coaches is it's not big the badminton is not so big in South Africa, so it's quite limited. I decided to go overseas, and I chose to move to Malaysia, where it's obviously badminton is a popular sport there, and sparring partners, coaches, there's many.
The sacrifice paid off. The right-hander took the gold in the All-Africa Games in 2011. The following year, he won the men's singles in the individual category at the Africa Championships. He would win it for 3 consecutive years. He also helped his nation claim gold at the same tournament in 2013 and 14.
I'm improving myself, and I've been able to maintain being the top player in men's singles player in Africa for 3 years now. So I'm very happy with that progression. So now obviously I need to work harder to break through to reach another level.
Jacob was left disappointed after failing to make it to the second round of this year's World Championships. And although many will see this as part of his learning curve, he is keen to push on. The ambitious shuttler is determined to compete at the same level as the major players in the world.
I want to be able to compete at the highest level. Basically being able to compete at a European level, and then working on to compete against the Asians, and not just come to these tournaments for experience, because that's what we've been doing now for the past few years. And I want to be able to compete and be up there with the top men's singles players.
Jacob Malika has already conquered the African continent. He's now working towards making his mark on the world stage. Only time will tell if the dedicated South African will succeed in turning his dream into reality. Before we go, let's take a look at what's happening on the international circuit in our Badminton Unlimited calendar. Next week on Badminton Unlimited, we're in Arnhem to find out how Badminton Netherlands is developing the game in the country. See you next week.